Works. Maybe it's gonna work. So today I'm gonna talk about LinkedIn and how you can actually go over the top time-saving. Yikes. Okay, so I'm gonna go over how you actually can get clients and book meetings and do all of the lead generation type activities in LinkedIn. I just want to double check if this live streaming thing is working for me. And then, okay, I think it is. So let's get rolling. All right. So one of the biggest challenges when you are trying to generate leads on social media, I mean, there's lots of challenges. It's not just this one thing, but figuring out how to generate leads, how to generate the right leads, the leads that actually care what you have to say, the leads that you want to attract. Those, when it comes to LinkedIn, the really cool thing about LinkedIn is that you could be very specific about who you're looking for and how you're going to find them. But the very first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that, because think about this. Okay. So you want to reach your perfect future client on LinkedIn. The great thing about LinkedIn is that I told LinkedIn who I am, what I do, what I'm looking for, what my experience is, where I live. I told LinkedIn all about me. Now, if you try to contact me about something that you're really excited about that I'm not really caring about right this moment, I won't necessarily be as excited as you are about that thing. But if you can help me understand why I should be interested and maybe even how it solves my problem, that I'll be more likely to respond. If you are connecting with me, trying to talk to me about something that you think is so exciting and that's going to solve my problems, but your profile doesn't actually represent what you do, what you're even excited about, why should I trust you? Why should I believe that you're someone who, if I was interested in this service that you're talking about, that I could rely on you, that I feel like you'll still be there, that this isn't just 5 minutes for you, that you're invested. So when it comes to the very first thing, before you get started on LinkedIn, you need to make sure that your LinkedIn profile completely says basically why I should even care about you. I'm gonna share my screen here. Share my screen here. Here we go. Share my screen. Okay. So this is my LinkedIn. And when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, so, oh goodness, it shows up that I'm live. Okay. So that's very distracting. But that's kind of cool that usually I'll tell you, usually this is my cover image. You can see a little bit of the cover image right there. So on the cover image, it's important that you say what you do. I teach service-based entrepreneurs how to get clients online. So I think that might be a little bit of what I have in my profile. I also have a profile picture that it's me. It's my face. I think I finished creating, I should double check it. I think it's ready, but if you want it, DM me profile. I created a a PDF basically that has a checklist of how you can create your profile picture so that it stops people. Because if you look on the side here, so I'll just show you. So obviously this is my profile. You know, it's important to say why I should be interested in you. But your profile picture, so your cover goes in the back, and then your profile picture, so this picture here, this green with the white outline, you can see my curly hair. I'm smiling. I'm looking at the camera. You can see my shoulders. There's like a couple things that are important there that you can consider when you are creating your profile picture. But I have a checklist. So if you want that checklist for a perfect profile and an actual template, you can DM me profile and I will send that to you. So on the side here, you can see, what do you see? So you see someone's profile picture. You can see this line here. So do you see where it says, oh, hello? You definitely want to check out my profile. So that particular information right there, that shows up here. So the reason that I mention it is because what is auto-populated is actually your current role. So your current job information will auto-populate there. So you can see mutual fund representatives, WFG, program project management. Like, you know, does that intrigue me enough to click on? Maybe, maybe not. But if you have a call to action where you're, you know, I could probably update this and put a little bit, you know, be a little bit more specific about why someone should click on my profile. But on the side here, when you have more solid color behind you, when you actually have a call to action or you say why someone should click on you, they'll be more likely to actually take that action and do that thing. I wonder if I refresh if it comes up. No, still no. Okay, so you can see though, if there was like a solid color behind one of these faces, I would be more likely to, it would catch my attention better. Okay, so on your profile, yes, you want to have your call to action, why someone should actually click on your profile. In your about section, you're going to talk about yourself and what you do, and then your experience and everything else. The experience is great, but the most important is that top chunk of real estate, the very top chunk that's going to tell people why they should connect with you, why they should click on your profile, and catch some attention. If you are just getting your LinkedIn profile completed, you can actually search SSI, LinkedIn SSI score. So you can search this, I don't even know, maybe it's here, maybe it's, okay, so yeah. So you just search LinkedIn SSI score and you'll be able to get your score. Basically, it's a report card for your LinkedIn profile. You can check how it is before you complete it, before you start taking the actions, and then you can check it afterwards. Oops, goodness. Okay, so next, the very next thing that you can be doing, obviously you can be creating content around whatever your service is. There's certainly different things that you can be talking about. And we're going to talk about posts and content, because yes, you're creating posts about your business, but are you actually asking people if they want to do business with you? Are you asking the questions to help people raise their hands? So I'll talk about that, because there's some pretty big mistakes that people make when it comes to posting content on social media and on LinkedIn, because you are potentially connecting with people consistently, and maybe in the DMs, or maybe you're commenting on their posts. They need to be able to go back to your profile and see, okay, yeah, here's the tagline here. I know exactly what she does. Maybe I will engage, or maybe I will respond. And so, yes, you're doing your own posts about your own services, but then you need to also be mixing in some posts where you're actually asking for business. So at the end of this, what I will do is I will share some templates so that you can type it out, just copy and paste, type it out for your own self, and ask people if they want to do business with you on your profile. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how you can connect with your specific audience and invite them to start conversations. So for example, if I know that maybe I want to connect with, maybe let's just say realtors, because it's easy for me to search. If you wanted to search for someone who provides tech support services, you could search for that. Here, let me just go back to the realtor thing. Realtors. So you also get to filter. This is not a paid LinkedIn. This is just a basic LinkedIn. So you also actually get to filter. You can apply your filters here. And I want to look for people. I don't need to look for groups right this minute. Yes, that's a strategy. We can certainly talk about that. Right now, in this moment, I want to talk to you about looking for people who you can connect with. So if I wanted to be really specific, I could either, so first things first, I'm going to say I want to connect with people. And then I'm going to add some filters. So I can then say, okay, well, I want to filter by posts. I want to filter by the company that person works for. I want to filter by keywords. Maybe what are they talking about? Maybe if there's a specific topic that I talk about consistently, maybe I would type that in there, because if they are talking, if it's a realtor asking about social media, maybe I can chime in on that conversation, right? Or if it's, if I'm searching for tech support, or if I'm talking about a specific software that I know how to use, but it also, maybe my target audience also might use it. Maybe that would be something that I would type in. So anything that you think that, and I'm just going to say people, anything that you think that people that you can search by, I'll show you. So you can also sort by connections. So if I search by first connections, these are people that I'm already connected to. So maybe I could send these people a message saying something like, hey, we've been connected for a while. I just wanted to reach out to see how things are going for you, especially in real estate. Real estate is busy right now. So maybe that would be a way that I would start a conversation. The other thing that I wanted to mention when it comes to conversation starters and even messages, when you're sending messages, we send staccato messages. These types of messages are short, one sentence. In LinkedIn, you don't have to press enter every time, but on Facebook and Instagram, you send every time. LinkedIn, you can just do spaces. So you want to make sure that when people are reading your message, it's not long. Pause for dramatic effect. If you are sending someone a DM, you are asking them for the favor of using their time for you to communicate. You're asking them for a favor. You're asking them to exchange their time to read your information. It better be short, easy to understand, and communicate why I should bother responding to you. And if I don't know in that moment, maybe I'm going to go to your profile and check out your profile. And your profile better give me the rest of the information that I'm looking for. So on LinkedIn, you can search by your first connection. So that's a way that you can, hey, I haven't reached out in a while, or, oh, I'm so sorry. We've been connected for a while. I didn't mean to ignore you. I help realtors get more clients online, or I help whatever type of business owner. It could be a job title. It could be an industry. I help people in digital marketing close more deals online, or I help, anyways. So and then make sure that you leave a question, because if you are asking them to engage and you're not asking a question, there's no obligatory, I don't even know if I'm using the right word, response. There's no, I feel like I should respond back. There's none of that. So make sure that you're asking a question. If you were going to, another thing that you could be looking at to start conversations is, you could look at the person's profile. Imagine that. So connecting, because we connect with authenticity, right? So if you look at the person's profile, you'll be able to see, okay, so for example, this person here, he's been with his current agency for 2 years. He was the director of sales. Okay, so he's probably good at sales. Oh, he knows Google AdWords. Okay. He's done some volunteering. Maybe there's something that I can relate. Maybe on his profile, like the Google AdWords thing. I'm Google AdWords certified. It's not my favorite thing, but I am. Maybe that's a conversation starter. University of Florida, lucky duck. Like, I'm stuck up here in Canada, where the weather is not the same. All of these ways that you could start conversations, right? Just like as if you were in real life. Just like as if you were, at Starbucks, when you're just kind of like, you're waiting, your drink's almost ready, you're just kind of, waiting. There's a couple, it's opportunity for you to start a conversation. What about when you go to a wedding or a networking event and you're at the bar getting a coffee or a tea or a drink, and there's somebody else who comes up at the same time, and you're just kind of, the bartender has their back to you. Do you start a conversation? How do you start that conversation? It's the exact same thing. Hey, I know we haven't connected in a while. I noticed this about you. How do you like that? Or how are things going for you? Easy. You're starting conversations. So another thing that you can be doing on their profiles. So Tim has not posted lately, maybe 6 months ago. So it might be a little bit creepy if I commented on a post from 6 months ago. If this was 6 days ago, I could comment, I could ask a question, I could like it. Another thing that I could do is I could hit the send button and send it to him. So think about that. If you create content, we're talking about our own selves now. If you create content, if you share a post and someone sends you, your own post, you'll probably at least open the message, right? Probably. So then it's my responsibility, once I get him to open the message, if I send him this one, to make it interesting enough for him to respond. So if there was a question that I had or a comment, I could do it on his profile, or I could hit send and send it to him. Sometimes when you click on the activity, it will say all the posts that they've liked. So it's better to just click on posts, and then you can see the posts that they actually posted. Otherwise, you see all their likes and conversations, which, hey, I mean, if they're starting conversations, you can certainly get in on those conversations. That's a good opportunity. But that's kind of how to start a conversation. If you, for example, haven't connected with someone in a while, but you are their first connection, you can also, of course, you can sort by location, by company, by different things. If I sort by second or third, so what that means, so if someone is connected to me, that's my first connection. If someone is my second connection, what that means is that my second connections are connected to my first connections. So they're not connected to me. My third connection is connected to the second connection, but not connected to me. So if I wanted to connect with those people, because maybe if I'm already connected to someone they're connected to, maybe they're relevant to me, or maybe I would still be searching, I would still be qualifying them before they reach out, right? So maybe I was sort by second or third and ask them for the connection. Third is, LinkedIn doesn't always like third connections, but you can certainly do it. And yeah, it's just a way that you can connect or find new people to connect with. So the first connection, you can reach out and actually reconnect with people who you haven't spoken to in a while. And then second and third would be the people that you don't know yet. So one of the biggest mistakes that the people make when it comes to LinkedIn, especially, is that there are lots of people from all over the world on LinkedIn, and lots of people that will ask you to connect. And so what happens when you accept connections from people who are not your perfect client, or who are not a part of basically an opportunity for you to expand your business, is that LinkedIn, if you start accepting people who are not your perfect future client, LinkedIn will start to think, oh, okay, so these are the types of people that we should suggest for this person, which you don't necessarily want if they're not your perfect future client. So you do want to be really specific about the people that you're not only accepting, but also the people that you're not only connecting with, but also the people that you're accepting. Because like you could see on, where was the side that I was showing you? Like you could see my suggested on this side, those are the people that are the most relevant, because LinkedIn thinks that they're the most relevant to me. So that's why they're suggested. Okay, so I've searched for realtors, I can search location, and then I can, once I do decide that I want to connect with someone, I can add a note. So sometimes it depends on what the message is going to be. Sometimes I will send a message, sometimes I won't. If I have had the opportunity to listen to that person's podcast, or even, maybe there's something really super relevant on their profile, maybe I would put this information here. They'll get this message when they receive your invitation to connect. And then as soon as they do connect with you, make sure you say thank you for connecting. Make sure that you, so thank you, thanks so much for connecting. Make sure you check out my profile, right? You're directing them to look at your profile because it's complete. And ask them a question. Why? Because questions make people feel like they should respond to you. So you're connecting with the right people. You're not accepting every connection request that you get. You're sending connection messages as soon as someone decides that they will accept your connection, or as soon as maybe they connected with you, but they're your perfect future client. Send the message. Thank people for connecting. Ask them a question. So once you are going back and forth with your questions, I have the templates for conversations in the DMs because that's super important. Posts. What should you be posting about? Okay. So, although this is, I guess this one would maybe be the most relevant. So if I was just going to post something where I was asking for, I'll just stop my share. Stop my share. So if I was going to post something where I was actually asking people to raise their hand, maybe this example, I run a Facebook group for service providers who want to grow and scale. It might be useful for you. Check it out here. So what is a specific example? We're going to do this work right now. What is a specific example that you could create that is a short little baby sentence, and all you're doing is you're asking for people to say, yummy, I want that. So if you have a lead magnet that you might have created, maybe you even created it last week, a downloadable freebie, maybe. If you have that, you could offer that. Or maybe you have worked through a triangle where you have 3 things that you help clients with, and you can post something saying, I just created a 3-step method to how you can resolve this problem, which is we go over this structure for my program, Get Clients Online, right? So here's my 3-step. Who wants a picture of my 3-step program? And you have your triangle. You just take the picture. So there's 2 examples right now that I want you to type out. So who wants, or I'm looking for, who wants my 3-step method of how, call out their name, call out their service-based entrepreneurs or service providers, or whoever your perfect future client is, can get from here across the chasm to the end result in whatever amount of time. If that's a week, if that's 4 weeks, if that's 2 months. Who wants it? Who wants the picture? Who wants the list? And then what I want you to do, because we're doing the work, we're typing it out right now, we're doing the work. And then I want you to share it. Whether you are going to share it with a picture or a video or just words. I don't care if it's just words, that's fine. And then you're going to copy that same like short little sentence and add it to your emails in rotation. So if you're sending email newsletters, this goes into the mix. If you have a free group, if you have a free downloadable PDF, if you don't have anything, but you can create it by the time somebody asks for it. So then you're going to post this post on social media, and then you're going to start the work and take the action and start connecting with people. So you're connecting with 25 people every morning and 25 people every afternoon, brand new people, starting brand new conversations. Maybe part of your process is just re-engaging old people that you're already connected with, but 25 and 25. So by the end of the week, even if you take the whole weekend off, it's already 250 leads, 250 conversations that you're starting. What's the percentage? Can you imagine if you did start conversations, try to start conversations with 50 people every single day, percentage-wise? It's very likely that those conversations would turn into meetings, that those meetings would turn into deals, right? Even if you're just starting conversations and asking questions. So that would be the homework. That would be the homework. So as soon as you complete that homework, chat below that it's complete, or if you're watching this live, chat below that you're going to take the actions, and then pause.
Sorry, can I break in?
Yeah.
So there's this, I've read something really funny on LinkedIn. Somebody was, there's a distinction in my world on B2B between the BDR, I guess the business development person, versus the SDR. And then eventually you become an AE, the account executive. And so one is for, I think, prospecting, like just generating the list. The other is for reaching out and speaking. And then the last one is for closing the deal or accompanying through the account, whatever. So the guy mentioned that you shouldn't, this is for Canadian Jose, actually. You shouldn't pitch slap people over LinkedIn when you first talk to them. So can you make that just, so going over the stuff that we just covered, because Gil has to, he's going to be doing this all week this week, and I'm going to try to do it too. So how can we do what we're doing and not like pitch slap?
Yeah, of course. So that's where you're actually going to the person's profile and looking at, what they have on their profile. So for example, like my son was a swimmer. I did the timing course, whatever. So I volunteered to do swim timing. And I think I have that on my LinkedIn. So for me, when I see that someone has said anything about swimming, it's like a way that I could start a conversation with them. So as an example, I'll get you a template, but it's more of a conversation, right? You can't really, so thanks for connecting, whatever, comment on their business or on their, whatever they have on their profile. So I help business owners get clients online. Feel free to check out my profile. I see that you're also a swim timer. My son was a triathlete. Are you still doing it? Or like, it sounds a little more cluttered than if I was actually typing it out, but that's the gist of it. It's just like, if you were in real life, if it was like, hey Joe, like, hey Joe, thanks for connecting. I see that you provide services to this type of business. I actually have worked with those guys. They're great to work with. They seem to have the biggest challenges with what do you think? Or how do you find? Or Yeah, I mean, even location, right? Oh, Thomas, you're in California. I'm so jealous. I bet you go to the beach every weekend. You also help course creators. Have you seen it get a bit busier because of COVID? Try to avoid the yes or no questions. I should have mentioned that. But I don't know if that answers your question a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, essentially, we're trying to stay clear. Like Grant says, be clear about the intention of the call. Brandon's same way. So you're going to have to say, hey, I'm in the market. I'm like dangerous. I'm not like trying to be friends and buddies here. Essentially, you want to avoid the friend zone. We're like, I am very harmlessly saying that I also swim. I'm not saying anything else. I don't want to ever do business with you, but like so you want to get out of friend zone, but you also don't want to come in hard with like, I have a proposal. Here's my link.
Right, but you wouldn't be like, hey, I just want to talk about swimming. I don't want to like, I'm just gonna like trick you into the business thing. All I want to talk about is swimming. That's kind of not ideal. Like it's ideal if you say, hey, I do this thing and I also do this thing. Oh, we have something totally in common. Like, let's talk about that for a minute. How was that? Think about if I just switch your brain to thinking that it's a networking event.
Okay.
And you're like, hey, how's it going? I see that you are a junior accountant with blah blah blah. How are you finding it coming out of university? I know sometimes it's hard. When I first came out of university and started blah blah blah, I had this. How are you finding it? So a way that you could relate, but still like, no, like, this isn't just a swimming conversation. This is hey, we're talking about this and this. And oh, by the way, I also have this other thing we can relate on.
Cool.
Makes sense? Just like real life. Just like real life. So type it out, read it, and then switch brains for a minute. If I was a junior accountant and I received that message, would I care? Would I open it and feel like I want to respond? Would I be curious? Would I go to your profile and try to seek more information? Like, what are the steps that I would take before I would respond, or while I'm about to respond, or what would be my process? Because if you switch brains and you're like, oh, that's like 3 paragraphs. I don't want to read that shit. 3 paragraphs. No, thank you. Or if while you're reading it, you notice, oh goodness, maybe that's not so professional. I should probably, switch it up. But include your personality, right? Because everybody has the same, and don't make it seem like a templated message, because people send templated messages. And so the more that you can humanize it and make me feel like we are just standing beside each other at a networking event, starting a conversation. I want to learn about you and how you can help me and how you can solve that problem that I don't know where to go.
Question.
Yes.
The problem is I see, like, I'm not a huge fan of DMing people and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to DM somebody, it's going to be like a cold call. It's like, I don't want anything but your business. I don't really care about your swimming. I don't really care about your kids. If you were my friend, I would, but you're not. So I want to come across as genuine as possible, right?
Yeah.
Hey, do you have this problem? Can I help you with it? Yeah. Like, is it bad to send that out to like as many people as possible until like LinkedIn bans me? Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and I get it. But is there a problem being that direct? Because, I don't have the time also to like chit chat, because then that means I got to go into your profile and look, right? And I mean,
Right. You do have to go into my profile and look. So just the same way that you might quickly Google someone when you are about to make a cold call, just the same way if you had spoken to the secretary, the person who's about to answer the phone the last time that you called, just the same way that you could look at the notes on the CRM, you would probably bring up the profile of the person. And so I understand what you're saying. You're trying to be efficient. You don't want to waste time. But that's, first of all, you don't know what my problem is. How do you even, if you don't know what my problem is, how do you know that you could solve it? So you provide call answering services, but maybe I need outbound calling. You also provide outbound calling. But if you are leading with, I provide call answering services and I don't need call answering services and it doesn't solve my problem, and you don't know what my problem is, it kind of just looks like spam, and maybe I'm not gonna even engage or respond. So,
but here's my question though. Wouldn't it always just be spam? Like if I don't know you and I live in Nebraska and you live in Calgary, why else would I be messaging you? Unless I think you're cute. Like, you know what I mean? Even then, like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, a lot of people do that. Anyhow,
right.
The point is, like, why else would I be messaging you if it's not for business, right? So it's kind of like if I'm calling people, I don't put the prep into phone calls because 90% of the calls go to voicemail anyway. Right. So why am I going to put the prep into you and your business if you won't even respond? Like once you respond, then it makes sense for me then to go in and look and be like, hey, absolutely. In all honesty, that's just a prepackaged message I send out, seeing if anybody's interested at all. Like,
right.
I learned a little bit more about your business. Can you not use it that way?
Well, I mean, if you think of a more humanized connection, people will be more likely to respond to a human. So cold calls, obviously you have your opening, but you don't stay a robot the whole time. You eventually become human and connect with that person. You respond to their objections, you interact with them. So just the same way that you would start conversations with a cold call by starting with a specific line, maybe it's just a little bit more humanized, I suppose. You're talking about telling people about the services that you provide, but really people care about the problem that you solve. People don't care about the services that you provide. I provide business coaching services. Who cares? But if I can help people actually understand that I can help them get more clients online, that I can help them, reach $20,000 months, I can communicate with them why they should even pay attention to me. Because if all you're saying is I can answer your phone, well, I don't even think that I need my phone answered. I can just call people back. It's my ads that I have a problem with. I have a problem with my ad spend ROI. I don't have a problem with answering calls. I'm good. Think about it that way.
I understand, but imagine sorry, I don't mean to hijack your thing here. I'm just trying to tell you, like, for me, it's like, why would I go in and read about your business and do all this stuff and presume? We all know what assume means. Presume is whatever. So why would I presume I have a solution to a problem I don't even yet know? I want to talk to you, right? So this is maybe a way for me to somehow elicit a response. You're like, hey, no thanks, man. We don't need call answer, and I answer a lot. Hey, and then at that point, I can respond to your objection. At least we're in a conversation,
right?
Because the problem is, like, well, all I'm saying is so much time.
Why do I
wait to prep?
What? Okay, so yes, so much time gets wasted in prep. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna say what I said just now is why do I have to give you the respect of a reply?
You don't have to.
So if we are already having a conversation, okay, so think about it in real life. If you walk up to someone and you're like, hi, I sell call answering services. Do you want to talk about it? Or if you walk up to someone and are like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. I provide call answering services. I noticed that you're here at this networking event. How are you liking it? Or, I noticed this about you. You don't have to prep. When you say prep, it's not like it's like you have to do an assessment and bring up a search tool and do all these things. You just need to look at their profile, find a speaking point, something that you can connect with and talk about and relate to potentially. You're not spending 10 minutes. You're scanning their profile just the same way that maybe you would like notice that someone's wearing scrubs or carrying a briefcase or, whatever in real life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I get it. It's just, all I'm saying is those minutes add up to hours, add up to tens of hours over the course of a month, right? So I see it as cold calling. So should it not be cold calling? In your opinion, this is like networking. Like I know the person.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey.
This is social selling. So this is how we actually connect with people, start conversations, and help them realize that they need your services because you understand what they need. You understand their
There's no
problem.
such thing as like social cold selling. Like it has to always be warm.
Yeah.
Can't let the social come after the cold.
Pay for ads.
Yeah.
So ads and cold, whatever. It's just a much lower conversion. And when you get a much lower conversion and you get less engagement, the social platforms will also recognize, well, this guy is sending a bunch of messages and nobody's replying. So maybe we shouldn't, maybe this is the wrong audience.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, I want to use like LinkedIn, right? I just don't know how to use it correctly, effectively, right? So
Perfect.
I'll listen. I was just sharing my opinions on it.
I know it's for sure. It's what if you tried it? What if you tried it this way, where you're actually connecting with people, setting timers so that you are not sucked in, because that's one thing I want to caution you on. So if you're setting a timer saying, okay, so right now I'm going to connect with 25 people, and you're doing it will take you 5 minutes to connect with those people. It will be the messages after the fact. Or if you're sending a message to go with it, that takes you a couple extra minutes. And so if you actually slot time into your day to do this, it will become easier and it will become part of your day, so that you're building this funnel that people start to move down in. And every single day, you're creating a funnel where you're, okay, so the first day I send this, the second day I send this, the third day I send this. The structure of the DMs that you could be, maybe we should talk about that next week. Like the specific, here's the first message, here's the second message, here's some questions you could ask, like the process of what to send during the DMs. Because the goal is not just back and forth sending. The goal is, let's get on a call. Let's help you figure out how to solve that problem that I know I can solve, right? That answer your question?
Yep.
You're going to try it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that sounds. Thomas, you have a question?
Yes and no. I agree with what everyone's saying, Jose, you, and Joe. I feel what Joe said about Brandon Dawson and being transparent on what your intentions are is what leads me to frustration as a recipient of cold DMs, where the individual, they'll, as he says so eloquently, pitch slap me. They'll ask me, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm great. Oh, I love all your videos. Well, thank you. Well, let me tell you about my Bitcoin deal. I don't like Bitcoin. Well, just give me a chance. I'll show you. No, I don't like Bitcoin. I do real estate, and they'll try to sell me. And so to me, it's like, you didn't even ask me like what my problem is. And then you'll have people like, so how's your business coming along? I'm like, it's great. So what would you say is your biggest problem? I'll be like, I don't really have a big problem right now. Well, if you did, they start doing that thing of like, well, I always need traffic. Great, I do traffic. Let me help you. It's like, no, like for me, it feels inauthentic when I get it through a DM. But at the same time, I feel the same way with Jose, which is basically, I don't feel like creating false relationships with these people. If it's not authentic, if I'm going in there and trying to create, like, I feel it's fake rapport, right? We talk about reciprocity, here a lot. I feel it's fake rapport to try to come up with like, oh, you like baseball. I like baseball. Let's talk baseball. Oh, by the way, did you know that I also create courses? Right?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's inauthentic because my main objective is I don't care if you like baseball. You like a team I don't even care for. Like, we're not friends.
Then argue about it. Why don't you argue about it? Like so the great thing about LinkedIn is that it says right here what I do, who I am, probably why I'm connecting with you. It says right here. You know exactly who I am, what I do. So in real life, Thomas, do we only talk about business? In real life, you and I, do we sometimes talk about Rory? Do we sometimes talk about your dad's business, California? Do we sometimes talk about these other things? Does that mean that I'm inauthentic because I'm talking to you about these things that maybe I could also relate, like authentically relate to? I have a daughter too, right? Does that mean that I'm totally being fake by talking about things that we could relate to each other? Because the other thing that happens when someone decides that they want to work with you, there has to be some sort of a connection. There has to be some sort of I don't hate this person, right? There has to be some sort of okay, like I can handle this person. I can handle working with them, doing business with them. And if you haven't gotten to that point where you can have that connection with that person, or that you can interact with them on a personal level, are they more likely to take action and decide that they want to work with you if they don't even know you?
Right. I agree with what you're saying. And I think for me personally, I think that a lot of what you're talking about, where you develop that trust or that preliminary trust, comes from what you have preached so often, which is basically being visible so that people can see who you are, so you can go in and trust them. I guess my question, and along with what Jose was saying, I don't know how, you talk about setting a timer. How are you going to be able to scale this over time? If you are the face of your business and you're being on the forefront and you're showing everybody, how many conversations can you have in a given day to begin to drive those leads? And so I think that's what Jose was saying, in cold calling, it's all about the numbers. You drop the line, you pick up. So with social selling, sorry, all the buzzing in the background.
Oh, that's okay. So if you're connecting with 25 people in the morning and 25 people in the afternoon, and you're starting these conversations, whether it's brand new connections or even that you're just connecting with people that you've previously connected with, starting conversations, that what will start to happen is you'll start to build a funnel, and you're starting conversations, and people will get back to you. Only start conversations with the people that you want to start conversations with. Okay. Not everybody won't talk to you. Some people won't talk to you. Probably lots of people will go to your which is why I started today's session with, here's your profile, fix it. Make sure that your profile is a billboard that says why someone should hit reply.
Because you should always work with a bald person. They're smart.
You should always work with a which?
A bald person, because they're smart.
There you go. Type it out. It sounds like maybe I'm exaggerating or, whatever when I say it. Like, you have to have your own personality. You have to be someone that I want to connect with or I'm repulsed by. Because as soon as you can blast your personality to that extent, there will be people that click with you. There will be people that don't. Those people that don't, they would never buy from you anyway. So who cares about them? The people that do click with you though, those are the people that will follow you, that will be interested in what you have to say. And even if they don't buy from you, they'll be your champion. They'll tell other people about you, right?
Right. No, I agree with you. But those people who don't want to buy from me, I still want their money though. So is that a bad thing? I know I can help them.
Right. So the people what I teach how to get qualified leads, like hot qualified leads.
Okay. No, I get it. Okay.
So if you want to do I'm just gonna like go at these people, whether they like it or not, it won't have the same effect as what I'm teaching. And that's for you to have authentic, real conversations about not tricking people, but real conversations about what you want to talk about and find out people's problems so that you can even understand that you can solve them.
No, I was just playing because, we're always talking about increasing our pipeline and everything. It's like, well, they have money too. I want their money. I want to help them.
And it doesn't mean that just because they say no to you today, doesn't mean that it's no forever. Keep creating the content, keep being visible, keep building your email list, keep doing all the things. And eventually that person will come to you or be repulsed by you to the extent that they don't want to do business with you. And you want that too, right?
Yes. Thanks, Rebecca.
No problem. No problem. So I'm gonna end the live. So if you found some value today, I want you to chat a question below. And if you want more information about my Get Clients Online program, I want you to send me a DM, DM me clients.